Hello and welcome back to my Let's Play world. I'm Slightly Tilted, and well, it has been a very long time since I've been on here. And a long time, I mean by about a month. And in that month, I've been extremely busy. And by busy, I mean 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week for, yeah, now until, the world freezes over. So, we're just going to jump right into it. We have nothing special planned today. We have got a lot of noisy sheep in the background back there behind me, making a ruckus because they are upset and then, crowded. But that's all right. So, let's get into some lore. How about we just hit it right away? Get into some lore, and this is what we're doing. So, we're over here at my little area, and this is called Forgefall. This is the beginning of Forgefall. We did this in the last episode. We worked on this right here. And it looks like the sun's getting ready to go down. Ooh, look at that scenery. But we worked on this. This is Forgefall. This is a build that I'm working on that is a combined effort of both dwarves and elves, and this is the beginning of it. Now, with the lore, I didn't really go into much of the lore on the last episode, but what we got here is we got a place called Forgefall. Now, Forgefall was built after a lot of other things that happened. So initially with the story, what happened was the world was void without any sort of life, and then the god of the world created the life here, and then things went awry with a group of celestials that were supposed to oversee the world, and the celestials, they did a bad thing. And then that messed everything up. So then fast forward a few thousand years, and then more celestials came in, and those celestials were supposed to fix everything. And all they did was just come in and basically teach the elves, the dwarves, the humans, and the other races how to function as a normal society. And which turn, the elves built a city known as Aladanor for the Celestials, and the Celestials have lived there ever since. They had the elves when they first met. They met the elves. The elves were, kind of primitive. The other races were pretty primitive, and there really was no structure to the society of elves, dwarves, humans, and the other races on the world. Taught them mathematics, they taught them sciences, they taught them, all the necessary things. The language of the elves, all these things that they needed, and they appointed a king. And we'll get to all of this stuff later. So right here, this is where we're going to start the lore and everything with this world. It's going to be Forgefall. So as the last episode, we've got the first tower built, which represents and symbolizes the unity with the elves and the dwarves. Over here in the next part of the episode, we'll jump into a time lapse on as soon as I get done talking about the lore, and we're going to build a series of or a couple towers here with a grand entranceway and a few other things that are going to go here. So we're going to have to terraform this all out, change up a lot of this right here, and then get ready to build the grand entranceway. So we're not going to worry about the bridge at the moment. I want the bridge to be built after we get these towers set, because I want it to look a certain way. So let's get out of free cam. Forgefall is a main focal point of the whole entire lore and the story, because Forgefall happens to be where a ton of things happen that bring about a darkness over the entire realm here, or the world, as you would know it. So in the last episode, I gave you a little bit about a place called Hammermain. Well, Hammermain is another place, another fortification, another area that's built by the dwarves after they are given the okay to basically have their own civilization and own society given to them via the elves. Well, up until the cataclysmic event with the elven city that was destroyed by the dwarves, they worked in unison, and the dwarves dug out all the materials in Forgefall needed for the elves to build armor, to have their swords and weaponry, and basically Forgefall is a big forging hub, a big forging facility. The halls are grand, the forges are going to be grand, the volcanic activity in the area, it all ties into the ability to produce just this amazing tooling, weaponry, arming, uh, armor, sorry, and such. So, what we're going to do is focus on Forgefall in these next few episodes, and of course, I'm going to give you a little bit more lore and story as we go. But with all of that said, I've given you an astronomical amount of lore. I'm hoping that you're intrigued at this point and want to learn more, because this story is massive. It's huge. It is a brainchild of mine, and I have another person helping me with this, a good friend of mine helping me with this, but it is basically 3 large novels full of lore. Yes, and I'm working on it as we speak. So, I'm giving you little bits and pieces of actual lore and actual books that are in the works right now that I'm working on, that it's going to take probably years to work on and complete. But I'm going to give you the basics, just the tidbits, and we're going to build it. We're going to build all these wonderful things. So let's get started and go ahead and figure out what we're going to do and lay out the area known as Forgefall. And with that, we've got another time lapse in the bag and taken and done a whole lot of outlining. And, well, that's what we're going to start with right now. Is we're going to start with some outlining. And with this outlining, what we got in the last episode, we have the tower over here that we built. And this will be the bridge area right here, which will be coming from the tower straight across to this area here. And, oh, cool. Yeah, the sun's going down again. Every time I start to record, it's always going down. Might as well sleep. Gotta sleep. Gotta sleep. Eventually. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, we were right here. So, we got this little section put across here for the bridge that will come soon. Now we are going to be terraforming all of this down here in the lower section here, and as you saw in the time lapse, I already started terraforming the way this is going to be. But this is going to be the grand entranceway over here for the area, and off from each side over above this area where the circle is, it's going to be a tower sticking up on that side, and then we'll have a tower sticking up off of this side, which should look really good. And they're going to mimic this tower in color and everything else. So we'll do all that. But for right now, we are just outlining everything and using all of these cobbled deep slit or cobbled stone bricks. You get the idea. These cobbled stone blocks for just the outline, and we're going to cover all this stuff with when we start building. This was just the foundation work of what we're going to do, but we are going to actually terraform all of this. So let's zoom into free cam mode. There we go. And all of this that's floating out here in mid-air and defying all logical sense of gravity, because there's really no gravity in Minecraft, so to speak. All of this straight down will be all terraformed. It'll be a steep, huge bluff going from here all the way up to what we have here. And then all of this area will actually come over to here, and then it's all going to dive back that way. And then all of this area along there is going to actually be built up and turned into really tall stone peaks and such. So this whole area right here where it transitions, you can see from here all the way up, there's kind of a line right here going all the way up along this edge here, and this is what we're going to transform all the way up to this peak up here. And I want all of these to be like a stone peak and then snowy cap mountains and stuff here. But as you can tell, even with that big grand entranceway, all of this area makes that spot look rather small, honestly. But that's what we got so far. We are gathering all the material and different pieces that we are going to need. You know, we got dirt, junk drawer, nothing in that one, more dirt, and then some... Oh, I've used up all my stone. Never mind, disregard. But we're gonna add all these into this chest monster and such. But also, not only did I put this in, but we've got the start of the entranceway here, and then this is going to go into another main area, and this is going to get all covered up and then worked and then all done. So all of that will be terraformed. So the main point and area will be right here. And then what I have in my idea for something really cool feature with this will be lava tubes or lava flows coming out of these curved areas right here and making it look really cool. This will be the dumps for the lava for the forges. So there'll be a series of columns like this, and then there'll be lava actually flowing down and out over the hillside and then down into the crevice down here, canyon. So that's what I have an idea for that. And then each one of these, so there'll be one here, and then we'll have one at this little flat spot going up, and then we'll have one over here. So there'll be 3 or 4 along this side. Free cam mode again. And then up there, obviously, we're going to have the main point for Forgefall. But all of this will be, these little areas will be the dumps for lava. And then we'll have 2 or 3 back here. Probably, well, we might have just 1 or 2 back here, but I think that'll look really cool for what we've got. And it'll just be like tubes that'll have lava coming out of it. And we'll, of course, decorate all the inside and make it all snazzy and nifty and neat and such. And a lot of this terraforming here, a lot of this mountain work and stuff like that, actually a lot of that is just going to stay put, and I'm going to kind of work around everything that I've got here in you know, retrospect. Because I don't think I really need to go and excavate all of that out and spend a lot of time doing it. All right, so now on to the next point. The next little area that we've done is we actually mined this out right through here. So this will be a passageway into the other area, which is this right here. This is going to be the next area. It's going to be kind of like, ooh, look, a pup. Oh, there it goes. Doggo! Yay, bye, doggo. But this is going to be another area for them, and of course it's going to be built up, and there's going to be some columns and everything here with the mountaintop over the top of this here. So where that comes up through here, we'll just kind of cover this area and then cover all of this. So all of this will be pretty much hidden. So you're just basically entering the general world or kingdom in itself. And so we went ahead and laid out the pathway here so we can kind of start getting everything constructed where we want, the staircase coming up, and this is where you enter the mines. So this will be, oh, speaking of mines, there's a zombie coming out of the mines already. No, zombie, you're interrupting me. Why you want to interrupt me? Get out of here. Get out of here. Just die already. Ow. Don't hit. So, this will be where the mines are, and this will be where the dwarves have entered and gone down into the depths of whatever's down here. Ooh, it's awfully dark in here. We should probably light it up with some torches because obviously there's zombies spawning in here, creating ruckus and havoc and trying to bite me. So, we've got this. This is the main little entranceway down into the mines, but everything above the mines is where the elves have set up. So we're going to have an elvish area here. This is going to be an elvish area, or elven area, not elvish. Elven. You get the drift. So this is where the elves are going to live. In this area, we're going to have different little areas in here for the elves. This is going to be a main elf area. And then up here in these general areas, we're going to have areas for where the elves have, you know, their spots. And then this cavern, I was thinking, would come out into another opening right here, which would look really cool. Kind of like this one here, but there's no access to it. It'll just be like a little garden terrace or a little area here that they can get into. So I think that's going to look really cool if I can pull it off. And then, of course, down here, cheat mode, we got the endless cavern of where the dwarves have burrowed and dug and gone down to dig up all the stuff. Ooh, I better be careful. There is a lava pit right there, right underneath where I'm at. Better be careful. So that's what we got. This is where we're going to be building, and we're just going to go ahead and keep plugging away on this a little bit longer because I think I'd like to get... Do I have any more pickaxes? No, absolutely not. Let's go get some material for some pickaxes so that I can create more or dig more or do more stuff. I should probably fill this in. Let's fill this in real quick. It'll take a couple seconds. Now, all of this stuff that I'm putting down is just temporary. This is not going to be the actual look of everything because cobblestone is, you know, that's definitely full-on Minecraft beta. That's early edition, just cobblestone everything. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just using it for filling in purposes. And then the dark colored deep slate, cobbled deep slate, that is just I was kind of kicking around some ideas for some shapes, but we may not go with it. We may go with it. I don't know. I haven't decided completely as what we are doing with it. Oh, we have got a couple more pickaxes here. And some iron to make a couple more. So let's get us a couple more little pickaxes here. Oh, and I still have not finished getting like all my other stuff that I need. Let's throw some junk in the junk drawer. Get rid of this and this and this. Yeah, that's good. But I still haven't figured out some of the other stuff that I want to do. We don't need no cobbled deep slate yet. We're going to mine some more of that. Coal. Coal is good. Yep. Sun's going down. Sleep again. It's already been 10 minutes. Can't believe that. What kind of sorcery is that? All right, so let's go and do a little more mining on some of the stuff. I actually want to kind of open this up a little bit more. I put this waterfall there because I thought it would be kind of cool, but I'm thinking that with all of this, we will go ahead and excavate this out a little bit more of a wider tunnel, kind of add a little height to it, and then I'm going to come back through here and add a little bit of depth to it, actually make it look way nicer than what it is. We'll add little columns and pillars and little things to increase the overall look of it, which I think it should look really, really, really good, hopefully. A lot of the colors I'm going to use will be a lot of like deep slate and darker colors because, of course, the dwarves have worked with the elves throughout the time period of when Forgefall was built and created and such. Definitely need some torches in here. So, yeah, the dwarves kind of got themselves into a really nasty situation. So, whenever they made an alliance, well, actually, it wasn't really an alliance. The elves decided that they would teach them just as the Celestials taught the elves. That they thought that they would teach the dwarves over the course of a few thousand years how to function and as a civilization. And of course, like all races and all things, and how lore works and how stories work, there's never anything for nothing, if that makes sense. There's always a caveat to something, I scratch your back, you scratch my back, kind of situation. It sounds like it's raining outside. It is raining outside. Ooh. But there's always a caveat or a catch. And so when the elves made this deal with the dwarves, basically the dwarves ended up getting their own civilization or right to basically govern themselves and have their own civilization. And once they did that, the dwarves started building a lot more civilizations. And this is not the only civilization we're going to have as far as like what the dwarves are involved with. We have a area called the Boran Mines, which are going to actually be just off from this area. And let's see if I can get my map to load. Oh, perfect. Yay, it's loaded. It wasn't loaded last time. But, so, with a little bit of lore here, a little more lore, I should say. So, this area, obviously, is going to be Forgefall. Here. This is where we're working at, right here. This is my little slice of my main little area that I do all my work. But then, of course, you can see the entrance to Forgefall, and then Forgefall itself, and then going up over to this mountain. Well, the Boran Mines are going to be over here. This is the area that the dwarves are going to be allowed to start mining and digging and having their own civilization. So we have the Boran Mines here, we have Forgefall here, and then what we're going to have up in this area is we are going to actually have Aladanor, which will be up in this very tall high peak, this snowy area, and then we're going to have another place called Kalindra, which Kalindra will actually be down in this area. And the only way to get to Aladanor, where the Celestials are, is through Kalindra. And Kalindra is where the first Elven king is made king, and they build the city here. So first is Aladanor. Aladanor, the Celestials teach the elves. The elves prosper. They build the cities. They build the Aladanor in the image of the Celestials. and then they build Kalindra in the image of both the Celestials and Aladanor, and then with Kalindra they spread to this area, which is obviously Forgefall, and then alliances are made, deals are made, agreements are made, and so then the dwarves are allowed to start creating their own civilizations. And the first one that they create is Boran, which is where they're called the Boran Mines, but this is where they will start digging even more and working to build their civilization and everything. But they are still going to be under the control of the elves. And then in the map over in this area, let's see, where was I thinking? Oh, right here. So the actual real world map that I've created is going to be a little different than this map, but you'll still get the feel of it. And then over in this area here, I'm thinking that this could be where Hammermane is, which is another dwarven city. But I have not yet figured that completely out. I still might either have Boran and then Hammermane somewhere over here, or there's also this tall peak right here, which I could put Hammermane at as well, because the dwarves and the elves are pretty much in the same relative vicinity. So I'm still figuring that. And then of course in the south area, this all in the southern portion of this is where the mankind's going to be, the humans. They'll be down in this area, and then there's a whole new world, which is the Meridian Fringes, and then this right here area is going to be known as the Tarsius Plains, and then King Tarsius, and there's a whole bunch of stuff to it. But anyways, right now our focus is on Forgefall because it's one of my favorite cities. And I know you're probably like, why aren't you building, Aladanor and Kalindra first in this area? We'll get there, trust me. Forgefall is a key factor in the whole entire story, so that's why I want to build Forgefall first. So, back to it. Alright, let's keep hogging out some of this, making this a little bit wider and a little bit better to come through. I think I actually want to take this down a whole lot more, and then we will start taking out all of this and then just doing a good fill in with this spot. So we will just blaze through this like now. All done. Alright, that should do it for now. Kind of make this a little bit better, and then of course we will come back in and build up the walls here, which I need to get more stone because I am completely out. But let's go ahead and go down here and go to sleep. And of course, the other thing I need to do is actually get an elytra and a few other things. So we're going to eventually go and fight the dragon. Probably not in this episode, but at least in the next episode. Got more stone, it's no longer raining, and I got some more torches because we're going to have to light up some of this bottom down here and make sure that there's no zombies that are going to get after us or spawn. So let's go ahead and actually dig down here, which I should be okay. See how lit up this is. Oh, see, there's already a zombie in here. Somewhere. Heard it. Light this up, which should be good. And I think the zombie's probably over in this general area. Somewhere. Maybe not. Must be in a different area. Alright. Anyways, I'll catch you guys here in a short bit. Alright, as you can see, we have a little bit more done. We've just completed a circle. I know, it's awesome, right? You know, it's one of those things that I aspire to, you know, do. Create circles so that, you know, the excitement level just grows. No, I'm just kidding. But we did outline just a little bit more, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. But the only thing that I think we should probably change about this is this section here. And I say that because I think what's going to happen is if I continue with what I have building this, I think it's going to look really, really goofy and mess up the overall staircase here. Now, I might come back and kind of shorten this up a little bit. I haven't really decided as to whether or not I'm going to, but for right now, I think we'll take this section out and then just make it go across. And then we'll just do something really nice with it later on in the series, because it should theoretically have kind of a shape to it. I think that would probably be like a really good idea. Give it some sort of shape. We don't want it to be kind of plain looking, but right now I think that will have to do for now. It looks a little goofy and wonky, but I'm okay with that for now. Let's go ahead and actually go all the way down right there. That would probably look fine. Yeah, that looks good. But we got this all kind of mocked out. Each one of these is going to be kind of a hallway to a room or to something. So this will be a main center point where the elves can come in and go down different little corridors and areas, which I think would work out really nice for this spot. And of course, we're going to have this center pillar. It's actually going to go all the way up and kind of feed out and look like it's holding up the roof. And then, of course, up here we have the entrance to the mine area where the dwarves were, and then we can add a bunch of different details and stuff up here. So we'll probably kind of block this off, make it go kind of something like this, I think, and then we can add like buildings or something up in this area and then kind of progress along there. But overall, I think it's turning out pretty darn good. I'm happy with the progress I've made. Happy that I have gotten some of the outline done for Forgefall. It's looking pretty good. I think it should start showing up on the map here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's going to work out nicely. Got the main entrance here. We're going to have a little area for the elves to go down the different little corridors and areas, and then over here we'll have a little bit more, and then up in this area will be elven themed here. And then of course underneath this giant mountain we will have the dwarven mines, which is going to be pretty amazing. And then of course later on we're going to have more lore that's going to play into all of what we got. But I think we're going to call that good on this episode because, well, it's taken me a month to get out, and I want to get it out to you because I'm sure you've been waiting for content going, is he ever going to make content again? Yes, I'm making content, I promise you. I'm sorry, I've been quiet and silent, but I've been working. 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, and it's no bueno. It's not fun. I finally got a few days off to actually put time to put this together, and so that you can view it and enjoy it. But the sun is going down. I am rather tired and sleepy, and well, we've done quite a bit today, so I'm going to call that good. And you know, hit that like and subscribe button, leave me a comment, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.